Alright, so what do you expect from the Microsoft press conference? You already know they're gonna have FIFA and Madden and Advanced Warfare.
Sure, I think everyone's going to have a little bit of those guys. EA is going to have their own conference. They're going to push those things too. I think from Xbox, you're going to get the Halo. You're going to get at least one Halo announcement. We know Halo 5 is coming out next year. We got to have some kind of Halo game of series, either the Master Chief Collection that was leaked or Halo 2 Anniversary Edition. We're going to get something from them. They've promised us Halo's coming. I also want to see what Phil Spencer brings to the table because he's saying games, 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 and we're going to get lots of games from Microsoft this year.
So my expectation is that they're gonna announce a new Gears game. And I know they have a new studio working on it, Black Tusk,
yeah.
and they're kind of unproven. I guess they were working on a game before Gears was announced.
A lot of hype for that game too, and it just kind of got pushed aside because Gears took over their studio.
So hopefully they can shift the focus back on the multiplayer.
I think you'll definitely see something. I don't think you're going to see more than maybe a small promo and maybe Marcus going, hell yeah, or something to kind of get the crowd hyped up again. Because they've already said that we just announced it, it's just starting production, there's really no footage or anything yet.
I mean, I don't know where they can take the story from here. I mean, they've already fought the Locust. Is it going to be a prequel? Is it going to be humans against humans? I mean,
I'm anxious to see where they go.
So what do you think of the whole Connect fiasco? I know you just bought a Connect a month ago, right before they announced that they were going to sell a $100 cheaper Xbox One without the Connect. They say they're still supporting it, but I mean, I don't think anybody's still excited for the Connect.
Well, you got to take into fact there's a lot of trolls out there who will badmouth things to a certain degree. I personally, I bought the system wanting to connect. I wanted the voice function. I wanted all those extra little features. That's what makes the Xbox stand out over the PS3.
They should give a free game or something. Dead Rising 3 games, the first games for gold for all the people that bought day one Xbox Ones.
Hey, I admire. I would love to see that happen for some of the guys out there who spent the time in line. But you know what? It's not going to happen. When you're an early adopter to new technology, there's not always going to be. There's always that maybe it's going to bust, maybe it's going to pass. The Connect maybe is being disconnected. But like you said, there's going to be support for it. They're going to start selling it separately. They're going to probably sell it separately more expensive than what we paid for it because we got it in a bundle.
So what are your expectations for the Sony press conference?
Well, you know, Uncharted 4 is going to be there. That's their go-to title. It's been one of the biggest console sellers other than God of War. I think that's a guarantee you're going to see gameplay from that.
But do we really want to see more repetitive sequel franchises? I think they're taking the story as far as they can with Nathan Drake. Do you really want to see, like, what's next? It's going to end up with Elena and Nathan Drake getting married? Like, what? Like, oh, there's another treasure we need to go find. Like, what's the big deal? What would make you excited to see another Uncharted?
Here's the thing: Naughty Dog excels in storytelling. They'll tell great stories. They have great characters.
But didn't their head writer leave though?
And they've also got other new head writers. They're always going to find someone new to fill that void. This is going to be the testing point, though. We have to see if they can continue the success they started with the first three under new flag leadership.
Alright, let's talk about the big elephant in the room, PlayStation Now. How much is it going to cost? When will it be available to consumers? And what titles are going to be available?
Yeah, we really don't know anything. Sony has been very keeping it hush-hush. They've given small demos to places. We haven't even seen it function really anywhere other than the servers on property where they're showing the demos. So we haven't seen how far it streams, how good the signal is, if there's any degradation in the signal.
That's true, that's true. And what do you think they're going to offer in terms of new IP?
You know, that's the thing. Sony's got a huge library of old stuff that they could touch on. We know that Ninja Theories, the guys who made Heavenly Swords, working on something. They could throw something out. We could see new God of War, even though it's not really a new IP. It's a big property. It's a big console seller. We don't know. I mean, Sony is playing it very close to the vest, and they need games if they're going to continue selling the over 10 million they've already sold now.
I want to see something from Media Molecule. I want to see, you know, something in the vein of Little Big Planet 2. You know, creation games are all the rage with the kids these days, Minecraft and whatnot. But what about the Vita? What about the little engine that couldn't?
Well, they got to find a way to keep it relevant. I mean, you got not only do you need new games for it, other than just ports of old PS2 games, you need to make it connected. You need to make it. I mean, Borderlands 2 is a big step that way with saving transfers between the two of them. Transferring, they started back with PS3 and Vita. I'd like to see them do something similar to PS4 to keep it relevant, to keep it current. Otherwise, Vita is going to end up like PSP, where it's just another handheld that no one's using.
Do you think PlayStation Now will be available for Vita?
It's a very good possibility. It's a matter of testing how far Vita can go. Its system requirements versus PS4 system power. We have to wait and see what they can do.
So what about Nintendo? I mean, that's everybody's biggest mystery.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what Nintendo's going to bring to the table this year? I mean, they need to make the Wii U relevant again because it launched over a year ago, more than a year ago now, and it's just there's nothing
It's just
there.
collecting dust. It's
Yeah,
underneath my couch.
Don't get me wrong; it's a nice system. It's got a handful of decent games, but anything worth spending $300 on the console, I don't know about.
I mean, like some people are even saying they're gonna announce a new console.
Yeah, I've heard talk of a hybrid. There's a lot of rumors going around that Nintendo's thrives at handheld. Why not combine the two? I mean, you already have the massive pad for the Wii U that can be used as a handheld on its own, connected to the Wii U. Why can't you just go with one that you can take elsewhere and still connect to the TV and get that TV at home experience?
I don't think they would announce a new console though, because it's basically telling the people, we're sorry you beta tested our technology. Here's the real console we wanted to sell you guys. I don't think Nintendo's that I mean, Sega failed because they kept releasing consoles one after another.
So the other reason Sega failed is they didn't have enough software to support the consoles they launched, and Nintendo's running into that same problem right now. I want to see Nintendo do well because I grew up with them, but we need something that's going to push the system. It's going to show this is why you need to own a Wii U.
That's true. So what do you think about the 3DS? I mean, it's outselling the Vita hand over foot. The games are there for it. I mean,
it's doing fantastic. It's got a great library of games. It's got the eShop. You can download all these classic games. It's outselling the new consoles for the most part. I mean, there's very few things Nintendo can't do with a handheld. Their handhelds always take off, always have great support. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I'd love to see some new announcements. I mean, as far as predictions go, any thoughts on what you might see as far as 3DS?
Well, they're going to announce at least one new 3DS game, and I think it's going to be Majora's Mask 3D. I mean, next year is the 15th anniversary for that title. I mean, I see more and more people ask on the forums, where's Majora's Mask at? When are we going to hear Oath to Order again?
So I tell you where Majora's Mask is. It's on my shelf with the rest of my games I don't want to play again. Because I've beaten it once, I never want to touch it again. I love the game, don't get me wrong, it was good. I really want to see a Metroid. The last Metroid game was Other M, I believe. And Samus hasn't done anything. And we haven't seen her on 3DS at all yet.
Alright. So what do you think about the third-party developers? What is Ubisoft and EA trying to bring to the table this year?
Oh, well, with Ubisoft, there's no doubt. Assassin's Creed Unity, will be their big talking point. I mean, next-gen Assassin's Creed. I mean, who doesn't want to see that? Because Assassin's Creed 4, as nice as it is, it wasn't truly next-gen. It was developed on older consoles and then up-converted to next-gen visuals.
So we know it's going to take place in the French Revolution, right?
Yes.
So do you think you'll focus more on Desmond's mother, like her side of the family?
I don't know. I'd love to see an expansion to maybe Desmond's background or something like that. Something that kind of compels the story forward more. Maybe even touch on Subject 16 for all we know.
Because those QR codes in Assassin's Creed 4, kept me on my edge of my seat. I wanted to know more about Juno and the Apocalypse.
I mean, Ubisoft's got a couple things. I mean, you never know what they're going to bring to the booth. I mean, we still want to see more of the Division that's still coming out next year.
Yeah, story element? Is it going to be like an MMORPG like? I mean,
I love the whole weather system, the fact that the sun, everything changes around it, and it changes the entire way the game's played because everything's dynamically changing. I mean, I want to see more of that engine. I want to see more of what they're going to bring to us next year.
What about EA? I mean, we already heard about. I mean, Battlefield Hardline was leaked.
It's all for me. It's Battlefront, Battlefront, Battlefront. I'm a Star Wars geek. I need to see gameplay. I want to see the snow speeders in real time. I want to see next gen.
I think
visuals.
finally the battles will be, seamless transition from space to land.
Not that the band transitions were bad before, but yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more clarity of that. You're going to see
64 player count.
I don't know that they'll go that far. I mean, look at what EA's done with Titanfall, 6 versus 6, which is fine. They have plenty of AI and other things going on. I think you're still going to get 12 versus 12 for sure. You might even get up to 32 total. But let's wait and see, because, I mean, you remember, with next gen systems, they're still testing what they can do with the graphics and online. The memory's only so much there. In another year or so, you'll probably see the numbers go up as they get better with the hardware.
But DICE has so much on its plate. I mean, they have the Mirror's Edge reboot. They have Battlefront, Battlefield 5. Are they going to share developing privileges like Activision, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer? Will it be Visceral and DICE?
It could be. I mean, they could go onto a three-company, three-publisher cycle or whatever. You could have different companies working on each game and slowly developed through DICE. I mean, but then it's EA, so they're overseeing everything anyway.
And Mass Effect 4, I mean, what are we going to see? Is it going to be a prequel? I think it's going to be either the Relay 314 incident, or they're going to show the immediate aftermath of the Reaper invasion.
See, I think they're going to go at least a good 50 years in the future of what happened. I think you're going to live in that universe as is, and you're going to see all the different aliens, how things have adjusted. You're not going to have any connection to your past. You might run into a crew member or two. That'll be it. I don't think you're going to see a lot other than maybe a tease for Mass Effect 4 because it's still pretty early in development. I think you'll see a lot more Dragon Age 3.
It's been 2 years, 2012, 2014.
They only started working on it this last year or two.
I think they made a Mass Effect 2 in like 2 years, I think.
Yeah,
they delayed it. They announced it for 2 years.
But they already had the engine. They already had the engine, and they already had the game developed. This is a brand new, in a sense, almost like a new IP. It's using the same universe, but it's in a new next gen system, and it's all new stuff going on. So you don't.
I want to see different. I want to play as a different race. I mean, I want to be a Hanar.
The first one was about the human race finding its footholds, much like the original Dragon Age 2 was like that. I want to see. Yeah, I would love to see multiple race main characters.